In our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves chasing after things. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or even success, it's believing that the more we pursue, the more likely we are to attain them. But what if the secret to manifesting your deepest desires isn't about relentless pursuit, but rather about releasing control and trusting the process? What if everything you've ever wanted is already within your reach, just waiting for you to stop chasing it? In this exploration, we'll dive deep into the powerful idea that your reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something that responds to you. This is a principle that many miss, but once you understand it, everything begins to shift. By letting go of the desperate need for outcomes and stepping into the energy of already having what you desire, you open up a space for everything to fall into place effortlessly. This isn't a new age fantasy, but a truth that has been echoed through time by thinkers like C.S. Lewis, the teachings of the Bible, and real-life examples from successful figures. So, let's journey together and discover how doing less could bring you closer to everything you've ever wanted. 1. Stop chasing. Let go and allow your dreams to flow to you. Have you ever found yourself obsessively chasing after something, whether it's a dream job, a perfect relationship, or some kind of success, and yet it seems to elude you no matter how hard you try? You push, you strive, you hope, and still it feels like your desires are just out of reach. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's something most of us go through at some point in our lives. But here's the question. What if all this chasing, all this effort, is actually keeping you from what you truly want? It sounds counterintuitive, right? In a world that values hustle, action, and constant striving, the idea that doing less could actually lead to success can feel foreign. But bear with me for a moment, because this is where the magic lies. What if the secret to manifesting everything you desire doesn't lie in the relentless pursuit, but instead in letting go? Consider this for a second. Have you ever noticed how some of the best things in life just seem to fall into place, almost effortlessly? Think about a time when you were completely relaxed, not fixating on the outcome, and suddenly things just started happening for you. It wasn't because you tried hard, it was because you stopped trying at all. It's as if the universe was waiting for you to stop chasing, so it could finally send what you wanted your way. This principle, while seemingly simple, holds a profound truth. The universe, or more accurately, your reality isn't something that happens to you. It's something that responds to you. When you're in a constant state of want, when you're always chasing after something, what you're telling the universe is, I don't have it yet. And guess what happens? Reality mirrors that back to you. It reflects your state of lack. But here's where the breakthrough happens. When you stop chasing, when you let go of the need to control the outcome, that's when everything starts flowing effortlessly. The moment you shift from, I need this to happen, to, I already have it, you create space for the universe to align with you. No longer are you sending out desperate energy. Instead, you are confidently and calmly assuming that what you desire is already yours. This is a lesson C.S. Lewis often discussed in his works. He wrote, "The more we let God take us over, the more truly ourselves we become, because He made us. He invented us. He invented all the different people that you and I were intended to be." Lewis understood that the path to fulfillment isn't about controlling every aspect of our lives, but about surrendering and allowing God, or the universe, to guide us to the right place. When we are aligned with our true purpose and trust that everything is unfolding as it should, we step into a flow of peace, confidence, and alignment with the things we desire. This process is often referred to as assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, a concept that Neville Goddard famously taught. When you assume something is already yours, you stop trying to make it happen. You stop the frantic energy of striving. Instead, you embody the feeling of already having it. And this feeling shifts everything. the sense of lack disappears, and in its place, there's a quiet confidence. You no longer need to worry or second-guess the timing or the how. You just know. But how do we truly let go of the need to chase? In a world filled with instant gratification, letting go can seem impossible. Our minds are constantly conditioned to believe that more effort equals more reward. But what if we challenged that notion? What if we allowed ourselves to trust in the process, even when we can't see the immediate results? Think of it this way. Imagine you're holding onto a rope tightly with both hands, gripping it as hard as you can, and you're so focused on pulling it towards you. But what if, instead of pulling, you simply relaxed your grip? What if you allowed the rope to come to you naturally, instead of forcing it? In doing so, you've just created space for the rope to come to you without resistance. This is what letting go truly looks like. So ask yourself, what would it feel like if I stopped chasing? What would it feel like to trust that the things you desire will come to you effortlessly? It's not about becoming passive or giving up on your goals. It's about shifting your energy from desperation to confidence. It's about embracing the idea that what's meant for you will not pass you by, and that it's already on its way to you. For example, when you think about the famous personalities who have reached incredible success, many of them didn't chase their success in the way we often think. Take Oprah Winfrey, for instance. Oprah's rise to fame wasn't because she worked herself into the ground, obsessing over every detail. Rather, it was her deep sense of purpose, her passion, and her confidence that aligned with the right opportunities. She didn't chase fame, she lived her truth, and everything followed naturally. Similarly, Elon Musk's success in creating companies like Tesla and SpaceX wasn't just a result of hard work, it was the result of his vision and belief that he could make a difference. He let go of the fear and the doubt and trusted that the right things would align when the time was right. In the end, this isn't about giving up on your dreams. It's about aligning yourself with them, trusting the process, and allowing everything to unfold with ease. The more you can let go of the need to control the how and when, the more you will begin to notice that the things you once chased start moving toward you. It's effortless. It's aligned. It's the natural way of the universe. And most importantly, it's yours for the taking. 2. Stepping into the state of already having it. The power of faith and belief. Now that you've understood the importance of letting go and stopping the chase, we take the next crucial step, stepping into the state of already having what you desire. This is where the magic truly happens. It's not just about thinking about what you want or even wishing for it. It's about shifting your mindset to a deeper level of belief, a level where you no longer hope for your desires, but know that they are already yours. Think about it for a moment. How often do we find ourselves caught in the cycle of impatience, constantly checking, asking, is it here yet? Where is it? When will it happen? We feel restless, anxious, and unsure, because we believe our desires are something outside of us, something we are waiting to receive. But this feeling of waiting and hoping is exactly what keeps us stuck. It creates a gap, a space between what we want and what we believe we have. And that gap is filled with doubt, fear, and frustration. But here's the key. When you truly step into the feeling of already having what you desire, everything shifts. No longer are you chasing, no longer are you waiting. Instead, you are living as if what you want is already part of your reality. This doesn't mean pretending that it's already here. It means fully embodying the truth that, in the present moment, your desires are already fulfilled in the spiritual realm. This concept is beautifully captured in C.S. Lewis's writings. In the Screwtape Letters, Lewis speaks to the idea that we are often distracted by our own desires, constantly searching for satisfaction in the wrong places. He writes, "It is not the things we long for, but the process of longing itself that captivates us. When we are in a constant state of longing and searching, we are not allowing ourselves to experience the fullness of what we truly desire. Instead, we're caught up in a cycle of wanting, which only keeps us from seeing what's already around us. The Bible echoes this truth in Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This verse isn't just about having blind faith, it's about knowing that what we desire is already present, even if we can't physically see it yet. When we step into this mindset of belief, we align ourselves with the truth of God's promises. We stop asking for confirmation, and instead, we start living as though it has already been given to us. This might feel challenging, especially when you're used to measuring progress by the number of signs you see or the external results you get. But this is where the real transformation happens. Think of a time in your life when you trusted something with your whole heart and didn't need to ask if it was going to happen, it just did. Maybe it was a moment when you finally let go of fear in a relationship, or when you trusted that your career would take the right path without constantly pushing for it. In those moments, you were embodying the feeling of already having it. And here's something incredibly powerful about this shift. When you begin to live in the energy of already having your desires, you become the version of yourself who already possesses those things. That's when the universe or God, or whatever you choose to believe, responds. When you're no longer doubting, when you're no longer wondering when it's going to happen, your energy is free to align with your desires. Take a moment to think about people who have achieved extraordinary things. People like Oprah Winfrey, who built an empire not through constant striving, but through her deep belief in her own worth and purpose. Oprah has often spoken about the importance of living with intention, trusting in the process, and stepping into the person she needed to become in order to achieve her goals. She didn't obsess over when success would come. She became success. This concept is also reflected in the stories of other successful individuals, such as Elon Musk. Musk didn't wait for the world to tell him it was possible. He assumed, with certainty, that his vision for the future was already manifesting. Even when faced with setbacks and doubts, Musk kept moving forward. Not because he was attached to any specific outcome, but because he knew his work would lead to something greater. The key lesson here is that we cannot control the timeline of when or how things will manifest, but we can control how we feel in the present moment. The moment you let go of the when and the how, and stop obsessing over the outcome, you step into the space of receiving, and that's when everything you desire starts flowing towards you effortlessly. But this isn't just about getting what you want, it's about becoming who you were always meant to be. When you step into the state of already having your desires, you align your energy with your higher self. You start to move through life with more confidence, peace, and purpose. This is where the real power lies. It's not about wishing for something to happen. It's about being the person who already has it, embodying that energy in every thought, action, and feeling. So, as you reflect on this, ask yourself, what would it feel like to truly believe that everything you want is already yours? What would it feel like to stop chasing and start receiving? The moment you step into this new mindset, you'll see how effortlessly everything begins to fall into place. 3. Letting go of the how and the when, trusting the process. At this point, you've stopped chasing, and you've stepped into the state of already having your desires. You've let go of the need for constant proof and stopped obsessing over when and how things will come into your life. But now comes the most critical part, surrendering the timeline. This may sound like a small step, but it is often the most difficult one. We all have an innate desire to control our outcomes. We want to know when things will happen and how they will unfold. And yet, this is exactly what keeps us stuck in the loop of doubt and frustration. The moment we try to control the how and the when, we are in fact blocking the very thing we desire. This is where true trust and faith come into play. Trusting the process means stepping into a space where you no longer obsess over the details. You let go of the need to constantly check, to search for signs, to try and predict when things will happen. Instead, you make peace with the uncertainty, and that is when everything starts to align. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on what this feels like. How often do we find ourselves tangled in thoughts like, "It's not here yet. Why is this taking so long? Why isn't it happening for me?" These are the moments where doubt creeps in, and if we're not careful, they can derail the progress we've made. But here's the thing, this is the test. When you begin to feel impatience rise within you, when you feel that anxiety about the outcome, you are at a crossroads. You can either fall back into the trap of searching and doubting, or you can lean into trust, surrendering the timeline and letting go. Remember that, in the Bible, we are taught to trust God's perfect timing. To everything, there is a season, a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. This verse is a powerful reminder that everything happens at the right time, God's time, and we cannot rush or force it to fit our own timeline. When we can truly surrender to this, we allow ourselves the peace that comes with knowing that all things are working together for our good. There is a divine order to everything, and our role is not to control it but to trust it. C.S. Lewis also touches on this idea of divine timing in his writings. In the Screwtape Letters, he addresses the subtle tricks the enemy plays on us, one of which is impatience. We are constantly told to want things now, to expect instant results, and when we don't get them, we feel frustrated and defeated. But Lewis reminds us that patience is not simply the ability to wait. It's how we behave while we're waiting. Our job is not to rush things or try to force them into our lives, but to wait with calm assurance that the right things will unfold when they are meant to. Now, I know this may sound challenging. Letting go of control can be difficult, especially when we're so used to planning, pushing, and waiting for results. But think about the times when you've allowed things to happen naturally in your life. When you look back, you'll often find that things came together in ways you couldn't have anticipated, often even better than you imagined. That's because you allowed space for the process to unfold. Consider this. Think about a time when you experienced true peace, when you had no idea how something would turn out, but you trusted the process and let go. Maybe it was during a time of uncertainty in your career, when you weren't sure what the next step was, but you knew you had done your best and trusted that the right opportunity would appear. Perhaps it was during a challenging season in a relationship when you realized that worrying and overanalyzing could only create more distance, and so you let go and trusted that things would work out. In those moments, you were living with full trust, and the results, though they may have taken time, came to fruition in ways that felt right. Even in the lives of successful figures, we see this idea of trusting the process and letting go of control. Take someone like Michael Jordan, often considered the greatest basketball player of all time. He wasn't always in control of every situation. What made him great was his ability to trust in the process, to remain dedicated, and to wait for the right moment to shine. He didn't rush to become the best. Instead, he allowed his skills and his path to unfold naturally through hard work, persistence, and most importantly, patience. So, the next time doubt creeps in, the next time impatience rises, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is the moment to trust, to let go of the need to control, and to allow things to unfold in their own time. Trust that you have already shifted into the version of yourself that has what you desire. When you stop obsessing over the how and the when, you free yourself to receive in ways that feel natural and effortless. Make peace with the silence. There will be moments when nothing seems to be happening, and it's easy to feel as though you've been forgotten or that things aren't working out. But understand that this silence is not a delay. It's a sign of alignment. The universe, or God, is recalibrating everything to match the energy you've stepped into. And when that happens, the flow will be effortless. Take a moment to breathe, to relax, and to release any lingering need for control. Know that everything is already coming to you, The moment you do this, the floodgates will open, and you will experience the abundance you've been waiting for, without struggle or strife. 4. Peace in the silence, surrendering the need for immediate results. By now, you've already made the crucial steps. You've stopped chasing. You've embraced the feeling of already having what you desire, and you've let go of the need to control the how and when of your desires. But now comes the most challenging yet most transformative part of the process: finding peace in the silence. In the age of instant gratification, it's incredibly hard to accept the idea of waiting. We've grown accustomed to getting what we want right away. We live in a world where everything is at our fingertips, whether it's ordering food, sending a message, or watching a movie. Everything is fast, and waiting seems like a burden. But when it comes to manifestation, the ability to sit in the silence, to trust that things are happening even when we don't see them immediately, is where true transformation begins. When we are in a state of faith, trust, and peace, the silence isn't something to fear. It's not a sign that things are not happening. It's simply a moment where alignment is taking place. It's as if the universe, or God, is taking a moment to align the pieces of the puzzle before they fall perfectly into place. And, just like a symphony that needs time to come together, the masterpiece of your life requires patience and stillness. Take a moment to reflect on the times in your life when you felt most at peace, when everything seemed to slow down and align perfectly, even when you couldn't see the end result. It's often during these quiet moments that we experience the deepest transformations. In these moments of silence, we are being recalibrated, shaped, and prepared for something greater. But we have to trust that the silence isn't a void. It's the fertile ground in which our desires are growing. C.S. Lewis, in The Problem of Pain, talks about the idea of God's purpose in allowing us to experience waiting and discomfort. He writes, "God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world." What Lewis is pointing out is that sometimes, when everything seems still, we are being shaped for something much greater. The discomfort of waiting, of not seeing the immediate results, is actually the process of our souls being prepared for what's next. And in this preparation, we are refining our character, building our resilience, and strengthening our faith. But it's so easy to get caught in the doubt that arises during these times. When things seem still, it can feel like nothing is happening. You might question yourself, wondering, did I do something wrong? Why isn't this happening for me? The truth is, this is precisely when you must trust the process the most. God or the universe is recalibrating your life, aligning your desires with the right timing, the right circumstances, and the right people. You must let go of the need to understand how everything will come together, and simply trust that it will. The Bible encourages us in Psalms 46:10 to be still and know that I am God. This stillness isn't passive. It's an active trust that God is in control and he is working behind the scenes. In these moments of quiet, the universe is rearranging itself to match the energy you've shifted into. You don't have to force it, and you don't have to rush it. When you trust in God's perfect timing, when you are at peace in the silence, you allow everything to align with ease and grace. This concept is echoed in the lives of successful people who have experienced long periods of silence before their breakthrough. Look at someone like J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. She spent years writing and receiving rejection after rejection. But she didn't stop. Even though there were long periods of silencino recognition, no success, and no guarantees that her dreams would ever be realized. Yet, she continued, knowing that the process was unfolding. And when her moment came, it came in the most unexpected, yet perfect way. The silence had prepared her for the success that was about to unfold. It's not about ignoring the silence or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about making peace with it. It's about trusting that the universe, or God, is always at work, even when you can't see the results. It's in this space of surrender that things shift from forced effort to effortless flow. When doubt creeps in and you feel that familiar urge to start questioning everything again, is this really going to happen? When will it happen? Where is it? Don't act on it. Do nothing. Let the doubt pass. Let it float by like a cloud in the sky, and let it go. Do not react. This is the final step in allowing your desires to manifest. As you make peace with the silence, you are also making peace with the unknown. You are stepping into a state of surrender, knowing that the how and when are not for you to control. Your job is simply to trust, to feel confident in the knowledge that everything is working out for your highest good. It's in these moments of stillness that everything begins to align, and the things you've been waiting for will come to you not with force, not with effort, but with grace and ease. Trust the silence, for in it, everything is coming together in perfect harmony. In the end, let us remember the powerful words of Jesus, who invites us to come to him in our weariness and burdens. In Matthew 11:28-30, he says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Jesus does not call us to chase after things, nor does he ask us to strain ourselves in endless pursuit. Instead, he calls us to rest in him, to trust completely in his guidance, and to surrender our efforts into his hands. When we stop chasing, when we cease the frantic striving, and instead place our trust in God's perfect plan, everything in our lives will fall into place, just as it should. We do not need to worry. We do not need to control every outcome. This is the message of the Bible, echoed by Christian thinkers like C.S. Lewis. It is not in our desperate efforts, but in our surrender, where we find true peace. When we live in trust, knowing that God's plan is unfolding for us, everything will come to us naturally and easily, in perfect alignment with his will. So, let go of the chase. Find peace in his presence. Trust that everything you seek is already making its way to you. Walk with faith and allow God's grace to lead you effortlessly toward the life he has designed for you.